Bills coming early and your girl is the latest, and she's saying that she down, but the crib always vacant, and you do $1 work, but it's pennies that you making, and you trying to be the greatest. You gotta get creative when you from the side of town where the kids hardly make it, and you try to ease your mind, but the pigs always hating, and your freedom's on the line, and it's years that you facing, and you trying to be the greatest.
All right, what's up, y'all, man? Another episode, What's the Remedy podcast, man. It's your boy, Dr. J.
Mr. Wash.
We got to come at y'all again this week. You know, a lot of stuff been going on in the short time span since the last time we talked. It's been crazy out here, man. It's been real crazy. But before we get into all of that, man, Wash, how was your weekend, bro?
I didn't do too much this weekend. Kind of stayed around the house. Try to work in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? Do a little razzle dazzle with some
boys cooking.
With some lemon pepper chicken, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Just trying to show that, you know what I'm saying, us guys too can cook.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? We can do more than just work with our hands outside and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying, you gotta eat healthier a little bit too. So hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Even though I made like dirty rice and some other stuff that probably wouldn't do healthy.
I was gonna ask. I was like, man, what were the sides?
Yeah. I did some roasted potatoes, some dirty rice, and I did some broccoli.
Oh shit, broccoli good. Steamed?
Yeah, steamed broccoli. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, steamed broccoli.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, shit. That shit's like my specialty, dog. I do like some grilled to baked chicken, lemon pepper, or something like that, and steam some broccoli. That was big on when I was in my whole weight loss stage of life. I thought I was gonna just really lose weight and shit. I was like, oh, well, let me make sure I steam some broccoli, do things like that, man. Let me see. My weekend was cool. Went to a wedding and shit, man.
Oh yeah,
it was cool though. Like it was a nice little. It was an elegant look to it. Right?
Well, you know what I'm saying. People try to have that, especially our people.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. We try to have like a nice little wedding, little shindig. You know what I'm saying, because a lot of people. Sadly, we getting kind of married a little later in life. Mm-hmm. So it's been kind of a long time coming. So you got to make that day a very special day.
Yeah, you try to make it as fly as possible. And I always appreciate good weddings. So if anybody listening is throwing a wedding, all you got to do is shoot me an email. I will be at your reception. Just make sure you have either an open
bar.
Yeah, definitely probably an open bar. But I'll settle for a cash bar. Just... I need you to have some type of bar, and then we can have a good time. Just invite me to your wedding. I'll be out there. But yeah, so that was my weekend. Pretty much, I was up in Fort Worth, had a wedding. It was cool though. I can't complain as long as you got a bar and some decent food. Can't complain about the wedding, bro.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. We just got a lot of stuff to kind of touch on this week, you know, because a lot of stuff going on in the news, a lot of stuff going on just even on Twitter, man. Like, so we're gonna jump right into our "What You Lying About" segment, because that's what we do. When I get on Twitter, my first thought is, what are these people on here lying about today?
They lying about something.
They always lying about something. So one of the big things was for the weekend, you know, going from Sunday into Monday, was this whole thing from Dove soap. So basically, Dove soap is they made an ad. And the ad was, it was a diversity ad. I'll put it that way.
it was real diverse.
Yeah, they try to make, you know, and everybody keeps making these ads where they want to touch on diversity and they want to make sure they incorporate all colors of women or all colors of people. And they, a lot of times they just kind of miss the mark. But however, and I have to, you know, I have to take this role in this particular instance because in that ad, I don't see the problem now that I see the whole ad. Like now that I've seen the whole commercial, I can't really get the outrage.
Yeah.
However, I know when I first saw it, and like, cause I saw what everybody else saw the first time. You see a black girl taking her shirt off, and when her shirt come off, you see this white woman.
Yes. No, I'm saying pretty much putting in people's head that, cause the ad says at the bottom 100% clean.
Right.
So the first thing you see, like you say, is this black woman taking her shirt off and transforming into this white woman, kind of putting the concept in your head like, oh, she was dirty, now she's clean.
You had to clean all that black off of her.
You forget about the Mexican lady at the end.
Yeah. So and the thing is, so what got me kind of up in arms about it, I ain't gonna lie, because I was a little upset at first.
Yeah.
What got me kind of up in arms about it was that I seen like right behind it, somebody posted that alongside an old, and you know, all the ads from back in the day, like before that Jim Crow era, all the ads from back then were very, very racist.
Oh yeah.
They were blatantly racist because people didn't like black people back then. They were less than human.
Yeah.
So one of the ads that was posted alongside that ad was of this black baby getting put into a bathtub, and it was a soap ad. And so like they were washing the baby in the bathtub, and then the next picture showed the baby coming out of the bathtub. His head was still black with nappy hair.
Yeah.
But his body that had been in the bathtub was white.
Pure white angel.
Pure white angel. So like people were comparing this ad to that ad, and I was like, I see that. Yeah. I can see the problem there. Yeah. Like I can see where that would be an issue. Yeah. And Dove is out of line for that.
Yes.
So so my outrage was right there at the beginning. So I understand.
Yeah. Cause like I said, after I watched the whole ad, I was like, okay. But then like you say, you see the outrage, and my whole biggest thing, it easily could have been rectified if you would have put either the black lady, the African American lady in the middle, or put her at the end of the ad. But you can't start her. It would have still been bad if you would have went to African American to Hispanic to white.
Yeah.
It would still been bad. Basically we're promoting dirty to clean. Less dirty and then to clean.
Yeah. So like and I didn't get that at first. Yeah. Like to me, once you see the full ad, you good. Like you can see, okay, they went from black to white, and I think the third one was even like Middle Eastern. I don't even think she was Mexican. Like she was Middle Eastern or something. And so like you go from black to white to Middle Eastern or whatever. And so I'm like, oh, okay, they just trying to show diversity. But I see what Wash is saying, because it's like you can't, if you reverse the order, if you just put the black girl on the end, then it doesn't seem like the black girl is having to get clean by turning into somebody else.
Pretty much.
Because like if you do it any other way, let's say if you go black, like you said, black to Middle Eastern to white, it still seems like the black girl got to get cleaned up to become white.
Yeah, pretty much. Like saying, I rinsed off enough to turn Middle Eastern, but she's not clean enough.
Yeah, wash one more time. One more time. Be white.
You know what I'm saying? One more time to the rinse.
And what made this worse? And like I said, this whole segment is about Twitter. Twitter is crazy in the simple fact that no matter what you do on Twitter, once it becomes viral, everything's going to come out. So there were posts about another ad that Dove had where it was like a black woman, I believe a Hispanic woman and a white woman standing next to each other in towels. On the background of this ad, there was a before sign with a picture of some cracked up skin and stuff on it. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side of the picture, it was an after sign with like some smooth, like look kind of pale skin. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so like, but if you look at the placement of the women on there, the black woman is in front of the big picture with the cracked skin and the before sign. Then the Hispanic woman's in the middle of the two signs. And then under the after is this smooth, pale skin. And then the white woman standing in front of it. Yeah. Now, I see what the picture was supposed to be. Because it was just supposed to show the two types of skin, you know, the cracked skin and the smooth skin. And that's what the Dove was all about. But the placement of the people, once again, just like this one, the placement of the people doesn't really do much justice to their diversity, dog.
We live in a day and age where you have to pay attention to every little detail. Like 10 years ago, that Dove could have got away with that. Oh yeah, it would have been an issue. Social media wasn't popping like that. You would have had certain people being like, "Oh, well, I think that's kind of racist," but they wouldn't really have a voice to put it out there like it is today. Right. Or even know to put it out there like that today. So in this day and age of marketing and stuff like that, you have to pay attention to every little detail because every little thing that you do can be taken out of context.
I think like every advertising agency or every company in general, what they need is a no man. Yes. Like the opposite of a yes man. You need somebody there to be like, hey, dog, I don't like that. Like you need somebody to just everything you put out be like, nah, let me tell you what's wrong with it.
Well, just like make a lot of major things, you have a focus group. Yeah. You need, before you put anything out, you need to really have a diverse focus group of people to actually be like, hey, how do y'all feel about this? And don't get nobody, you get regular, everyday people off the street.
Yeah.
And have them come in and see how they feel about it.
Yeah.
Because if you just putting stuff out there like, oh, that sounds good to us, and we in the boardroom, and then it comes out and get all this backlash, you really didn't target the audience that you was looking for. You really didn't think about all the stuff that could happen. So,
and I feel like since they're in this position, I know that they had to have had a focus group. So now it begs the question, like, what kind of people are y'all putting in your focus group to not be like, hey, dog, hey, shit, that don't look right.
Yeah.
Like, and you need to, okay, and as you do your focus group, because like you said, we're in the day and age of like social media and screenshots and steals and stuff like that. Take that shit frame by frame to your focus group, and they be like, because if you took that frame by frame and seen the black girl taking her shirt off and showing a white girl in slow motion, somebody would stop that. I would think somebody would stop that and be like, that don't look right. You got a black girl taking her shirt off and she turned white, like that shit, that don't look cool. Yeah. Like, you need to be able to fully inform your focus group, because I know they had to have had a focus group. Yeah. So either they didn't get a real good, diverse focus group, or they didn't fully inform their focus group, because these ads are fucked up. Like they're not good.
Yeah, like I say, it's something they really didn't think about. It's hard to say because people are gonna get mad about anything. So you got to go into something thinking like that. They could have did it the other way, like I said. Had the black lady first. I mean, like last, or put her in the middle, or whatever the case may be. And somebody would have been like, they could have used another black lady, and she could have been bright skinned.
Oh yeah,
that would have been a whole other controversy. She wasn't dark enough to be in the ad, or she was dark, or she was darker than the lady that was actually in the thing. And it was like, so what you're trying to say? She's extra dirty because she's dark and stuff.
No. So I mean, and like you said, that brings up a good point, because this same thing happened when Shea Moisture released their commercial for diversity, because they released like 4 or 5 different commercials. Yeah. And each commercial had like 3 or 4 different women in it of all kinds of races and backgrounds and hair types and all that kind of stuff. So one of them, the one that got Twitter up in arms, a few months ago, was the one that had like 2 or 3 white women and like a mixed woman that was like part black. She's had to be like half black. So like the reason that people got up in arms was because, okay, you had a redhead, you had a blonde, you had a brunette, and then you had like this mixed black girl. And so people were like, oh, so now Shea Moisture trying to get away from black people. And so what happened was somebody took that one commercial with the white women in it and used that as a catalyst for argument. And so they were like, you see this? This is what Shea Moisture trying to do. They're targeting white women. They ignored all the other commercials that they had plenty of black women, Middle Eastern women, Hispanic women. It had, it had a mixture of all races in all the commercials. But people know what's going to trigger people, and they know that the race argument is going to trigger them. And this is the problem I have with that. There are so many things going wrong right now. Like, there's so many things for us to be pissed off at that I don't think we got to make shit up. Like, you don't have to make an argument.
We shouldn't have to.
No, we don't have to make shit up. Like, because you can walk outside right now and you can find something to be pissed off at. You don't have to make up something and try to get people into your argument. And that's like the whole Hotep thing. Like, people are making up shit so that other people can get mad. And it's not even shit to be mad at. Like, there's real shit to be mad at, and you wasting our time. Because, like, I think what ended up happening was, like, somebody pointed out that there was a black girl in that one of Shea Moisture that, she was like a mixed breed black girl, but she was still black. But they were like, oh, well, she got 4A type hair. I'm like, what? For real? Like her curl pattern ain't even tight. She don't even have tight coils like I have in my hair. So she ain't real black. And I'm like, dawg, y'all just want to be mad. That's just the bottom line. Y'all just want to be mad. And so like the Dove ad, I can't get behind the Dove boycott, dog. I just can't.
Well, I can't. I'm not gonna say I can't get behind it. I'm just saying that we live in a society that cries wolf a lot. Mm-hmm. And could you feel kind of, like I say, some type of way about how the placement was and about the ad itself?
I understand.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. But people are, like you say, get on Twitter, social media, Facebook, whatever case may be, and want to get in the streets and protest and start boycotts and stuff like that. But then when there's real issues that really affect us immediately, we kind of don't say too much about it.
Yeah, we let a lot of shit slide that we could actually be upset about to spend time getting upset over little things. And I think at some point, even like in this Dove argument, I think at some point people like they get the realization that they're wrong and they don't want to admit it. So they're going to die on that hill. You know, the expression that you find a hill to die on, and they found a hill and they're going to die on that hill because they're like, well, I've already said it. So I can't go back on my word. I realize that I'm wrong.
No, we live in a double down society where like you see with the president, even though he's Looney Tunes, but everything he says, he doesn't back down. He just, I'm gonna go a little further.
Yeah, I'm gonna back up. I know I'm wrong, but I'm just gonna be a little bit wronger. So that I ain't gotta back down.
Yeah, just to prove my point of how wrong I was.
Yeah, I'm not gonna back down off of it. And I just think that's stupid, dog. And I hope that people are more, and this, I know this is a lot to ask in this day and age, but I wish that people would be more cognizant of like the things that they tweet out and report out to people, because like I want you to actually do a little bit of research. Like even if I research something and me personally, I'm probably the worst at like thinking I'm right and sticking to it.
Oh yeah.
Cause like once I start an argument, I'm finna hold my point to the death. But like if you can prove me wrong with research, I really can't argue. Either I'm gonna stop talking or I'm gonna say, all right, you got it. Like,
well, it goes to that point. Like I had a conversation this weekend about that, and it's when people think they're right, you really can't tell them anything. And one of my biggest pet peeves with people is when somebody thinks they're right, like you said, they'll down the issue, whatever case may be, double down on it, and you be like, everybody doesn't know everything. Yeah. Like we learn from each other every day, regardless if it's a stranger, friend, family, whatever the case may be. So I always live by like the mantra of, you show me somebody that says they know everything, I'm gonna show you somebody that knows nothing. Mm-hmm. Because somebody that thinks they know everything is pretty much closed-minded to all kind of outside issues, or learning more information. If you, per se, like say you are a therapist, I come in here, I have no credentials with therapy, but I'm telling you about your practice, and what you need to do. Yeah, because I might have read one article and stuff. That doesn't make me. That makes me no expert. Yeah, and I should, from a person that's actually gotten an education on how to do something, I should actually take that advice. Maybe through our conversation, you might learn something from me that you never thought of, but I'm going to get a lot more from you on the actual basis and research of what we're talking about. Right. Because you are licensed in this field. Right. But some people don't give a shit about that. They feel like, well, no, I read this. I seen this on Facebook. I know what's going on in the streets.
I saw this video on YouTube, so that's it.
So I can do open heart surgery right now because I seen this video. So you can't tell me about the arteries and all this other stuff, which is crazy.
And the big thing with that is, like you said, like if you read an article and you come at me about an article, it may be an article I haven't read. Yeah. And the big thing about that, like when you deal with people that are professionals in the field, a lot of the stuff you do has to do with research. Yeah. And so like as you're researching, there may be some research that you haven't seen that somebody else has. So if you approach me about an article, I'll talk to you about it. I'm going to give you what I think. Mm-hmm. But I may, like you said, I may get something from you because I have not seen that article. Yeah. So I may need to listen to you a little bit because I haven't seen that research. Yeah. So, it kind of goes to just that whole idea of when you debate things, whenever you're discussing things like that or whatever, it's important to keep in mind that, you know, you're not always going to be 100% right. And you need to kind of balance that out and kind of keep it, you know, I don't know. Keep all that in mind.
Yeah, you have to keep it in mind. You have to like keep at the end of the day, keep an open mind. Right. To any conversation, any debate that you're having. Because at the end of the day, you go into it, don't go into a situation thinking that I'm 100% right. Because like you say, somebody comes with research and comes with some kind of facts, then you have to kind of back down off your statement because it's factual. But that's the kind of problems we run into today, because now people are coming with facts. People are coming with research. And now what's the big phrase to use? Fake news.
Fake news. It's fake news.
You know what I'm saying? Which is bullshit. Like, educate yourselves, pretty much.
I mean, everything's not fake. There's one other thing I want to talk about before we get off of Twitter stuff, because there's another conversation and actually this conversation comes up a lot. But recently, on Monday, it came up from my, And I love Amanda Seales, dog. Amanda Seales fine.
Yeah, she fine.
Yeah, and I love Amanda Seales, but she came with an argument, and the thing is, what's so funny about it is that the argument is so common on Twitter that there's no telling where it came from. It's just funny that it came from her this time. But the argument on Twitter comes up a lot about getting a passport and having Jordans. Like they go hand in hand for some odd reason. And the thing is, one of the other things I've seen was that, like, okay, there's been like a meme that goes around, and like it's a group of friends and they're standing around and like, me and my friends don't buy shoes together. We all go get our passports. Like, I never understood where, like, I don't know when, and I need somebody to kind of explain to me how and when this happened. But for some reason, like, getting a passport has become like a rite of passage into elite blackhood.
Yeah.
Like, you become an elite black person once you have a passport. It don't matter if you ain't got no money or nowhere to go, but you have a passport. And people act like a passport costs like $2,000. Like, I went to go get a passport quick. And it's not that big of a deal, like, for the people to make it some big argument every time. So what is the deal with black people and passports? I need somebody to help me understand that. Well, why are passports so important to black people?
It's important to black people because they feel like you say, it's kind of like a rite of passage. Like, if you have a passport, that means you have a license to go beyond this country, beyond the United States, to actually travel. Mm-hmm. Which at the end of the day means nothing. Exactly. In the grand scheme of things, because if you think you are an elitist because you have a passport, you are kind of a fool. And I will say this on this podcast: you are kind of a fool, because we all know people that have traveled to Cancun, Mexico, or to Jamaica, whatever the case may be, with their passports. Like, they're really doing some traveling, whatever the case may be, and then when they get back, ask you for $20.
Yeah.
So are they really just living a big life? You know what I'm saying? Or they, you know what I'm saying? They save their money like most people do, whatever, to go take this little vacay, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You do your life, do your thing, live your life. That's cool. But to feel like you're above me because you have went to a place outside of the states that I haven't yet to gone to means nothing. Hey, maybe you was able to go get that passport and go because you probably ain't working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Excuse me if I have to go have a job and I have other stuff to do on my vacation time.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to knock you for going. So don't knock me for not having a passport being ready.
And that's what's so crazy. And I think it all goes back to the fact that people are like watching other people's pockets. Yeah. Like, why are you worried about what I'm spending my money on? Like, okay, I spent $250 on these J's or whatever, and you spent $1,000 to go to England. Like, cause you had to pay for your flight, hotel, and everything else. Like, I only spent $250 for these J's every few months. But you spend $1,000 because, I have a passport and I can see the world. What if that's not my priority? What if I just don't want to see the world? I don't give a damn about the rest of the world. And
that's some people's views. Some people don't want to leave outside the United States. Some people don't want to leave. Like I said, we're doing this in Houston, Texas. Right. Some people don't want to leave Texas. Is what I'm saying. Houston, we right on the border of Louisiana. I know a couple people that haven't been to Louisiana.
I know.
And we're less than an hour and a half away from the border. So some people, it's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
Like I say, if you get a passport and you travel and do your thing, by all means do it. If you have the time to do it, the finances to do it, get out there, see the world. But if you don't want to see the world, hey, that's your prerogative.
Yeah, do what you want to with your money. And I think what got people kind of up in arms today was that, like, Amanda Seales let off a string of tweets. And like, so they were all like real, I don't want to say they were all elitists, but they were all very like telling people what they should be doing with their money. Like, if you buy the tweets, and these aren't exact quotes, but they were basically saying, if you got Jordans and Nike suits, but you don't know your credit score, then you losing. If you got Jordan and Nike suits and you ain't got a passport, you losing. And it just kept going like that. She was just going at people for buying Jordans and Nike suits.
Yeah, if y'all don't know who Amanda Seales is, she's talented actress, plays Tiffany on Insecure. Yeah. The bright-skinned lady.
Yeah, the light-skinned one. She bougie on the show.
Yeah, she bougie on the show. Also, for the people that are a little older, My Brother and Me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she's on.
You know what? And this is off subject, but my gal sent me that picture the other day, and she was like, you know, Amanda Seals from my brother and me, and I was like, dog,
yeah.
That threw me. I was like, dog, that is her.
Yes, know what I'm saying? So we grew up with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know the show My Brother and Me, you didn't grow up on that, then hey, your childhood kind of sucked a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody know about some Goo Punch.
Goo Punch. All the ladies say. Goo Punch, man. But that threw me off. I was like, damn, it is Amanda Seals on My Brother and Me. Yeah. But that's who Amanda Seals is. And she just let off a lot of stuff. And to her credit, I guess, I don't know if I want to call her credit. I understand what she was saying somewhat. I wouldn't really try to explain it away because she was kind of out of line for like coming to people like that. And I hate when people kind of do that whole elitist thing. But at the same time, like at this point in my life, I'm really not worried about what my credit score is. So like when she was talking about if you buying this and you don't know your credit score, I don't need my credit score right now. Like, and it goes back to the point that like it depends on the person. Like you can't really call people out for doing things when you don't know what their situation is.
True.
The reason I don't need to worry about my credit score is because I bought a house and I bought a car, and I don't need my credit score anymore for a while. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm not killing my credit or nothing, but
you're not trying to build your credit up for something.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now,
not building up for nothing. Yeah. So like if I want to go buy some shit that I just feel like buying, I'm gonna go buy it because I'm not worried about my credit score is right now.
Oh yeah.
When I'm worried about my credit score, I guess I'll worry about it. But you don't know people's situation, so you can't be like, hey, if you ain't checking your credit score month to month, then you a loser. Like, you don't know what I'm doing. Don't watch me.
Pretty much you got, like I say, it was an elitist comment. I just think some people kind of get up. You know what I'm saying? No knock to her. Like I say, she's kind of be on some activist stuff here and there and talk about some real things. But I think some people just kind of wake up sometimes and just shoot off shots of how they feeling about stuff. Because I'm pretty sure she probably ran to some guy or whatever, or a friend or whatever case may be, that was buying some J's that really that didn't have their priorities right that she felt, and basically she let off some shots. You know what I'm saying? We've all felt like that. It's just sometimes that a lot of us keep it inside. A lot of people go ahead and voice their opinions on social media.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to hold back. And I guess I understand, but at the same time, the lesson for today is don't watch people's pockets, man. Like do you? And if you have advice, if you have financial advice, that's wonderful. But you can't tell people that what they should not be doing. You could say what worked for you. You could say what's working for you right now. That may not work for them. That may not be what they about right now. They may really be about having a J collection. Like if that's, people collect stamps.
Yeah.
Like people collect stamps. And so like if that's what they want to collect, let them people collect what they want to collect. Let people do what they want to do with their money.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? If you want, like you say, if you want to do anything you want to do, you have the means and the education, the time off, or whatever the case may be. If you have whatever you need to do whatever you want, be free to do it without anybody watching what you're doing or telling you what you need to do.
Yeah, other than the fact, I will say, make sure your kids are taken care of.
That should be number one.
Yeah, don't be out here, spending all kind of money. Even if you got a passport and taking trips, because I know people that do that. Yeah. That they got their passport, they traveling across the country, they traveling, overseas and all that kind of stuff, and their kids are struggling. Like, okay, now you in a whole other bracket. So like, make sure you take care of your responsibilities, and then whatever you do with your money from there, whether it be traveling or buying J's, do what you want to do. That's just the bottom line, man.
I agree.
But anyway, I'm off Twitter for right now, man. We're going to end up coming back to Twitter because, Twitter is like...
jumping.
It's jumping because and I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to get off Twitter after this. But the reason Twitter is so lit is because, for one, your president is on Twitter. Like, Twitter has become like the place to catch everything now because you want to know what's going on with in Donald Trump's mind, it's going to be on Twitter. So like everybody is tweeting now. So Twitter has become the place to see everything. So we'll be back to Twitter in a second. I'm going to get off of it for right now because we kind of got to get into, our health segment a little bit. So you probably can't tell because I try to adjust the mics and shit, but like I've had something like a cold for like the past couple of days.
Bird flu.
Yeah. I hope it ain't the flu.
I hope not, nigga.
Man, speaking of, this ain't even the segment for today, but speaking of the flu, dog, do you get flu shots?
No.
and I used to have to get them all the time when I was little because I had asthma real bad.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, you have asthma, you are really at a risk of getting the flu. You have to get a flu shot. So I used to get flu shots when I was little. Man, I stopped getting them after a while, and I haven't had the flu yet. Well, no, I take that back. I got flu one time, but it was like one of my first years teaching, and them kids be sick.
Yeah.
Sickly ass kids. Sick ass kids. But so I got the flu that one time. But other than that, I haven't really got the flu. But since you mentioned the flu, that's what came to mind. But anyway, I think I just got a cold.
Okay.
So what this brought to mind for me was because this show is all about the remedy for, toxic masculinity and men not wanting to be vulnerable. But it brought up to mind one of the most vulnerable states you will ever see a man in is when he's sick. And women make this joke all the time that, men exaggerate and, we act like babies when we sick. You can't talk to them. You can't do nothing with them because they going to shut down and all that. And it's true. I ain't going to lie to you. I mean, I'm doing good today because I've been on some medication. But overall, I have to say that there's definitely some truth to that statement. Like, men don't like the feeling of being sick. So for you, Wash, what do you feel like is the reason that men kind of shut down when we sick?
I just think you're supposed to be like a protector, and you're supposed to be there for your partner, for your woman, things of that nature. So I think when you are down and out, you kind of feel a little less inadequate. Mm-hmm. Like you can't do what you want to do at that time because you're feeling so bad or you're feeling so down that your body and your mind functions in a certain way. And when you're sick, all that goes out the window.
I believe that.
So you just kind of figure out. So it puts you in a vulnerable state, like you need somebody.
Yeah.
And a lot of men don't want to feel that. They want to feel like I can do everything on my own. I don't need anybody there. Me personally, if I get sick, I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Like you can come bring me something, whatever the case may be, whatever that nature. Like bring me some medicine, or if you with me, bring some food, whatever the case may be. I appreciate it. I would tell you thank you till the cows come home. But I would like to be on my couch, on my bed, wrapped up, and be left alone because I just feel like I'm not going to say I'm a bad patient. I just feel my whole reason about somebody else being around me when I'm sick is I don't want to get you sick because I feel how bad I'm feeling right now. I don't want you to feel the same way.
Yeah.
So stay in the other room. I'm going to stay on my side, whatever the case may be, because I don't want you to get what I got. And I know for some women, it's hard for them. They want to be, they see you in a vulnerable state. They want to be that caring person. They want to be there for you, that nature. And I guess my mindset is like, no, I don't want you to get you sick because when I get back well, I don't want these roles to reverse. And now I have to be your bedside fellow, which at the end of the day, I have no problem doing. Because that's just the kind of person I am. I would make sure that you got your medicine, you got food, things of that nature, because that's a role that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of men, they're comfortable being in that role of, let me do for you. Let me make sure you're good. Things of that nature. When it comes to his flip, it's kind of like, you don't have to do it for me. I do it for myself.
Yeah.
I'll make my own food. I just want to be left alone because it shows you at your weakest point.
And I guess kind of like what we were saying before, everybody's kind of different in that regard.
Because some people want their mama.
I was like, yeah, me. I'm like, I'm like 280 something pounds, dog. Like I'm pretty self-dependent
like,
person.
Come on, big fella.
Like I can do everything for myself. I'm not worried about myself. Like as far as taking care of myself in any aspect of life. Like I can do for myself. I'm good. But when I get sick, like I literally shut down and I'd be like, man, I just need somebody to come take care of me. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, usually I do pretty good. Like I'll pop some pills, especially since I've been a teacher. Cause like I get a lot of colds. Cause like I said, these kids be so damn sickly.
Sick ass
kids. But so since I've been a teacher, I've learned how to, pop some pills and go on about my day because for one thing, I don't like to waste sick days being sick. So I'm not fixing to take a day off and be sick. I'm going to go to work sick so that when I need to take a sick day, I can live it up and do what I need to do or go on one of them vacations or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I am that person. If I'm sick, but I can physically get myself up out the bed and go to work, I'm going to work because I'm not going to waste a day on being sick.
I'm not wasting my good days laying up in the bed. Hell no. Like I'm gonna go to work and I'm just gonna be sick around all the people that work.
Pretty much. You better stay medicated and hydrated because I'm coming to work.
Yeah, y'all better take your vitamin C before I get there.
Yeah,
because I'm coming to work.
Yeah,
but so like I'm that type of person that I can push myself to work or whatever. But if it's like a weekend and I know I'm off already. Like when I had the flu that one time, like I went to my mama's house. Like I swear to God, I was literally by myself at the time in Corpus. But I was like, man, I'm sick. I'm finna go to my mama's house. I'm finna go lay up in my mama's house because I know my mama gonna take care of me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? She gonna give me all the medication I need. I'm gonna get all of that. You know what I'm saying? So like. Everybody's different on how they handle sickness, especially for men. Because like you said, a lot of men, we have this protective, strong persona, and I'm one of the people that really is like that outside of my like relationship and people that I'm really really close to. Like my mama knows a vulnerable side of me, and the girl that I'm with now, she knows the vulnerable side of me. Outside of them, don't nobody know no vulnerable side of me. Like people be like, I look like I'm mean all the time because like I don't believe in like being vulnerable because I feel like that gets you taken advantage of. But when I'm sick, that's it. I gotta call my mama or somebody because like I'm done. I can't be strong right now. I can't take it.
Yeah, and that goes into like I'm not saying other episodes we're gonna do for this podcast because that's like a topic with a lot of different paths to go down. Just like the vulnerability of most men.
Right.
Like you're saying, we talking about right now, like how you are vulnerable when you're sick, but just vulnerability and just period, how you're vulnerable in your relationships. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? How you're vulnerable with family. Yeah. Things of that nature. So it can go a lot of different ways. But like, yeah, when it comes to sickness, a lot of men, like you say, want your mom to take care of you. You want your significant other to take care of you, or you just want to be left the hell alone.
Yeah. And it's, like you said, the vulnerability is what gets everybody. So what are some cold remedies that you use? What's a good cold remedy for
Well, first off, if you black, everybody use a hot toddy.
Hot toddies.
You know what I'm saying? Get you some whiskey or something and get your lemon and some honey.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Heat it up, whatever, drink that, like some hot tea. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got the tea, whatever. I'm a NyQuil head. I ain't gonna even lie.
Yeah.
If you want to get knocked out for a good 5 hours, take your good swig of NyQuil and you're out of there.
And the thing is, when you gone off NyQuil, dog, when you wake up, you actually do feel a lot better.
Yeah,
like
you feel refreshed.
You feel refreshed like a motherfucker. Dog. Like you take that NyQuil, you go to sleep, you wake up, you be like, okay. Like your symptoms may still kind of be there, but they gonna be like real subdued because that NyQuil knocks stuff out, dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I had to make sure, like I had to kind of do it in moderation because you know you do something too much, then you get immune to it. Mm-hmm. So because I'm like. Oh, I got a little sniffle tonight. Let me take this NyQuil. I need to go to sleep. I don't need to wake up in the middle of the night. Let me take this NyQuil. And I've had, you know what I'm saying, somebody pull me to the side like, you need to stop doing that.
Yeah. No, I know people that do that with Benadryl too. Oh, like, people be like, well, I need to go to sleep, so I'm going to take some Benadryl. I'm like, but Benadryl's for your allergies. So that's like, I feel like you're going to build up an immunity and now your allergies are going to act up. Like,
you got to find something stronger.
Yeah, you got to find something stronger. But you know what I use? And I got this like when I was in college and it's a generic brand, I think, but it was like this stuff called Comtrex, and they have like a daytime and a nighttime pill. Okay. It's a cold medicine, but it was some random generic brand that I got, and I was like, dawg, this shit felt like it worked better than Dayquil and NyQuil, but it's called Comtrex, and I think they have it like Walgreens or something like that. But that's probably my best one.
Yeah, like I say, some people go get the off-brand stuff. Like, hey, if you again, I hate to kind of be like that, you black. Mm-hmm. Growing up, everybody, you didn't have Robitussin, you had Tussin. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're drinking Tussin or you're drinking the Walmart brand.
I would say like, and then you got them brands where it won't even say like Tussin or Robitussin, it'll say cough syrup.
Yeah, just say cough syrup. just say what you need.
Yeah. No. Hey, what you need, what you got? You got a cold? I got some cold medicine. Oh, what's it called? Cold medicine. Yeah. Just go over there and grab that cold medicine.
Let's say, which leads to something else that we talk on another date. Everything, but it's like the different brands of you kind of growing up and what you kind of dealt with. Yeah. Because shout out to my boy Nate out there in Hawaii. But I remember being in college and we at the house, and I'm seeing him with a bag of cereal, Not out of no box, just a bag of cereal.
Bag cereal.
And I'm like, what is that? He like, oh, that's some, I got some crispy rice.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and this, like you said, this is for another episode, but bag cereal is the truth. Like, I won't buy anything but bag cereal now. Like, my mama used to buy bag cereal. So like, even like when I went grocery shopping with my gal one time, and she was like, "Why are you buying that cereal?" I was like, "This is the best cereal there is." Like, you ain't gonna buy the stuff in the box. Like, you ain't gonna buy, I don't buy no Cheerios, no Honey Nut Cheerios. They got Honey Nut Toasted Oats. Nah, you gotta get some of these Toasted Oats.
So, these fruit circles.
Yeah, fruit circles. You know what I'm saying?
Say nah. I looked at that. I was like, come on, crispy rice, fruit circles. Yeah. But hey, can't knock it. Like you say, bag cereal, you ain't got nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, but like you said, like as far as medications and stuff goes, some of them generic brands will work just as good, dog. And in fact, like you mentioned the hot toddy, I thought about making one earlier because I had this Crown, but then I just mixed the Crown with Sprite and started drinking. But if I hadn't, I would have made me a hot toddy. Because I got some lemons. Oh, I do got some lemons. Yeah. I got some lemons and honey, and I might make one shit before I go to bed, dog. Give me a hot toddy with some of this Crown, some lemon, some honey, and I got some tea up there.
And what's that? And for our avid drinkers, like what's that? That Crown Royal, that salted caramel.
Salted caramel.
Yeah, I advise y'all go out there and get a little taste of that.
Yeah, taste it while they got it. I think it tastes a lot like
vanilla. You said, no?
Like it tastes like the vanilla, maybe kind of like the maple, but it's worth a try. I like to try everything that especially when they have limited edition stuff, because you never know if they're actually gonna keep it or not. So you want to get a taste of it first. And then when they take it off the shelves or whatever, let it go. But anyway, hot toddy, generic brand, cold medicine. And, if you got somebody, you got you a little mama, as TJ and them used to say, you got you a
little mama of choice.
You got you a little mama. Get you a little mama to take care of you, man. It's okay to be vulnerable with somebody that you're close to. Just like you did with your mama when you were sick, it's okay to have you somebody to be vulnerable with and open up, especially when you sick, because it's tough out here, man.
Yeah, it's tough out here. Like I say, I need to work on that and stuff. Because like I say, it is a good feeling when you got somebody there that's going to take care of you, when you kind of being an ass a little bit. Or because you feeling like ass. You know what I'm saying? Somebody there to kind of take care of you and kind of be there for you. That's a good feeling. So, like I say, just with the vulnerability thing, that's something I'm trying to work on myself. So, yeah.
Definitely.
Go ahead and, like I say, get y'all little mama of choice to help y'all out, for all the men out there that need some help when y'all sick.
Get you a little mama, dog. Speaking of little mamas, Jemele Hill. We're going to jump right into the halftime now. We're going to jump straight into the sports, man. Yeah. Jemele Hill, the little mama of choice. And, Jemele Hill ain't that cute to me, but like she cute enough, and she stand for something.
She wear them little, what's that, box braids or whatever. Yeah. She come in there, you like, okay.
She wear them box braids and look at it with a little squint from the left side.
You like,
okay, the Henny working. I feel you.
Yeah, I might say sometimes you don't even need the Henny. You just kind of look at it like, okay, I see you. I see what you're doing today.
Yeah, tilt your head to the left a little bit. She cute as hell. But anyway, so Jemele Hill today got suspended from ESPN. Well, yeah, this is Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah. So Monday, Jemele Hill got suspended from ESPN for making some comments about your boy Jerry Jones, who I've never liked Jerry Jones anyway, but Jerry Jones came out and said that anybody, and let me just clarify because people are getting this confused. A lot of people are saying that Jerry Jones had said this already because there was a fake article that came out about a week or so ago that said Jerry Jones said that he would bench anybody that did not stand for the national anthem. What actually happened was that was all made up. But then today, in the fashion of his homeboy Donald Trump, he doubles down and says, okay, yes, that is how I feel. I'm going to bench any player that plays for me and does not respect the flag. So, of course, it sent Twitter into an uproar. Everybody started talking about it. And Jemele Hill, who is an avid Twitter user, she is very active on the Twitter area. She states that basically if you want to affect Jerry Jones, you need to start affecting his advertisers. Don't put everything on the players because everybody's saying, well, his players need to go ahead and kneel. Dak should be kneeling. Zeke should be kneeling. The stars need to kneel so they can make a statement. But basically what Jemele Hill said was, y'all are putting everything on the players when y'all have power too. So if you want to protest Jerry Jones, go ahead and start going after his advertisers. You know what I'm saying? Don't buy nothing from anybody from AT&T or anybody else that supports the Cowboys, because then you're starting to hit Jerry's pockets. So she even clarified. She put a tweet out right after that. She's saying she's not advising people to boycott, but she's just saying if you have a complaint, that's the way that you should go about it. So ESPN, in the fashion of many people of this day and age in the past year of Trump's era, decided to say, oh, well, you know, she violated our social media policy, so she's suspended for the next 2 weeks. I just don't get it, man. I don't get how, I mean, I guess I do get it. But Watch, what do you think about this entire situation? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Before I give mine, you go ahead and give your thoughts on it.
I think she was right for everything she said. I just think that, you know, most people on social media, I think she got a little empowered from the last situation she went through. Mm-hmm. And nothing really happened. Like, everybody kind of galvanized behind her. And she became kind of a folk hero. Mm-hmm. So I think on this situation, she just kind of doubled down. I don't know what's in her heart. I think she's kind of feeling herself a little bit. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she put her statements out there because her voice has gotten really big. And do I think she should have, because she basically, even though she cleared it up with a second tweet, she still told people to boycott.
Basically, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which I can see does violate their social media policies. You telling somebody to boycott an advertiser that works closely with ESPN.
Yep.
Who she works for. Because the NFL and the ESPN are in bed together. So you really can't go at the NFL like that, in that manner, of telling somebody to boycott their product, which your network shows games for and things of that nature. So again, I feel what she's saying. I know where she's coming from, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. I just think she kind of needs to chill out with the Twitter, because you have a bigger platform than Twitter.
Okay.
The same statements you said on Twitter, if you felt that way, should have addressed on your show. You know what I'm saying? Visually, where you have somebody else there that your co-host, to back and forth with, to basically get your point across from your face, that you can get your reactions. So I know how you feel about when you're saying what you're saying. Yeah. I can get like, oh, she's totally serious. She ain't playing no fucking games. Or, you know what I'm saying, she's being joking about something, what case may be. I think a lot of stuff on Twitter gets lost in translation.
Yeah, and I feel what you're saying. Like, and I agree to the simple fact that, you know, when you have a chance to put it forth on a show, you have time to kind of sit and think about it. You know, you get into the writers, you know what I'm saying? You can go back and forth with people. You know, it gives you a chance to kind of think about stuff, because on Twitter, sometimes you don't really have time to think. Yeah. Like, especially if you're threading together tweets or replying to people, like you just reply firsthand. But at the same time, the president of the United States tweets the exact same thing. Now, actually, no, his tweet was an actual call to action.
Yeah.
He tweeted a call to action saying, everyone should boycott the NFL because they are taking a knee against the flag. So everyone should boycott the NFL and not go to the game. So the president tweeted a plan of action. So if the president can tweet a plan of action to actually say y'all need to boycott, I don't know that you can really put in your social media policy that nobody else can say that.
No, and I agree with that. All I'm saying, like I say, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I don't disagree with anything she said.
Right.
I just think that you have a top-rated show on that network, you know what I'm saying, that you're visually on with somebody else. I just feel that you have more to say in person out to more people on that show than you do on Twitter. Even though Twitter goes out to a million people, the case may be. But actually, you have a built-in platform of your own that you can really put everything out there. Like, my whole thing was, don't agree with nothing that you said, but you see what the president and everybody else is doing. They changing the narrative of what the damn protest was about in the first place.
Right.
So if I had a show like that, my thing would have been on, let me go on my show, I'm finna get reckless.
Yeah.
And I'm finna go on my show and talk about, this is, the protest is about all this that's going on right now, this is what fake news looks like.
Yeah.
Because this protest is about the injustice against African-American people getting shot by police enforcement and things of that nature. And they keep on trying to spin it towards the flag. Put it out there on the TV, on from your mouth, you know what I'm saying, your face saying it, that, hey, the reason why Colin Kaepernick started kneeling in the first place is because a vet told him that would be an honorable thing to do rather than sit on the bench.
People ain't trying to hear that though, and that's the issue I have with it, is that like people, like, no matter how many times you explain it to them, these people don't give a damn no more. Like they're not trying to hear what the explanation is. They're not trying to hear the reasoning behind it. They have set in their minds, and it's kind of like what we discussed earlier about the whole Dove thing. Like once somebody sees like they've made a stand on something, even if you prove them wrong, they're gonna die on that hill because they don't want to admit that they were wrong.
Because it's already been proven, and like you said, it just didn't get as much publicity. But I think it was I don't know if it was the Cowboys or one of the football teams. Not this week. I want to say last week. They actually, as a team, decided they was going to kneel before the anthem.
Oh, the Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens, and then they stood up for the anthem.
Yeah,
they got booed.
They got booed anyway
for kneeling before the anthem, and then booed during the anthem. Yeah, so it's kind of like, y'all don't even know what y'all booing. Y'all just booing because somebody else came out like, well, if they kneeled before, whatever the case may be, that'll be fine. Well, that's proven wrong. So like you're saying, people just going down what they believe in. If they want to be, all this is with this presidency and everything else, it brought all the closet racists out of the woodworks. Mm-hmm. Everybody had like a bigoted mindset, then came to the forefront. Like lost in translation, everybody's seeing, and everything's a misdirection. Mm-hmm. We living in the fucking magic show. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Look at my left hand. You know what I'm saying? Why the trick is really going on in my right hand. While all this is going on, people went back, they went back to Charlottesville? Yeah. I wanted to protest, whatever, Richard Spencer, with tiki torches all over again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Went to protest in Virginia. And that hasn't got like a lot of media coverage. It was a smaller crowd than last time. But still, they feel like they still have the, you know what I'm saying, the right. I'm not even going to say the right. They just feel comfortable doing this. Right. Like going out there and like getting their message out. Jews will not replace us. Blacks will not replace us. Things of that nature. Like everything is cool. And this is a world we're living in. And the president's not saying nothing about that. But he's quick to talk shit about Puerto Rico. Or the NFL. Or the NFL. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or, like I say, start a publicity stunt with the vice president.
Right. And I think that's like the confusion for me, even with this Jemele Hill situation, the confusion is that like you don't know how far you can push it. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause the president is pushing it so far. And so like you feel comfortable, and I feel like Jemele got, and I don't want to say she got too comfortable because I don't agree with the fact that they suspended her at all. Yeah. But like these people aren't going to let you get as far as they get. And we as black people have learned this early on. You knew from when you were younger, and you can't, like your mama tell you when you come out, and you can't do everything that they do. You can't. I know Bradley did that. But you can't do that. Yeah. Like you got to realize that you're different from them, and it's terrible. And I want it to stop. And I'm glad that she did it because it needs to stop, and it needs to be seen how wrong it is. So I'm not at all, vilifying her for what she did, because that was definitely,
she spoke her mind, which she has every right to do.
Yeah, she definitely did what she was supposed to do. But the thing is, the reason that people are going to come down on her for it is because they really just don't believe that you should do the things that they do. Like, it makes them different. Oh, yeah. And with that said, I'm moving past Jemele Hill real quick, because one of the other things you've seen is the Miami offensive line coach was, I wouldn't even say he was recently filmed. He filmed himself doing lines of coke and sent the film to a stripper. A stripper that his mistress.
Yes, an offensive line coach named Chris Forrester. Yeah. For the Miami Dolphins. Like you say, he filmed himself snorting some lines. You know what I'm saying? Doing a little bit of booger sugar to show, you know what I'm saying, that some of that nose candy. You know what I'm saying? That white girl, to go ahead and show his love for this, you know what I'm saying, young lady that's a stripper. Mm-hmm. That I think they said on one of her social media pages saying that she's a professional tease. Oh. Or the case may be. You know what I'm saying? An attractive lady, but basically she put him on blast and put the video out because I think he had made some comments about the protesting and kneeling. So, yeah, because she came and clarified like she has nothing against white people and anything of that nature, but she was basically just showing the hypocrisy of things, like pretty much people throwing rocks in glass houses.
Hey.
Want to talk down on black folk and all this case being, and you over here tooting lines because she said that was his habit.
Well, shit, I didn't know that. Shout out to her. Shout out to the shout out to the activism of that stripper, man. Shout out to her. Man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He over here tooting lines because she was like, that's not nothing new. Because she said, because people coming for her, she was like, I didn't put the cocaine to his nose.
Right.
She like, that's his drug of choice.
Wait, you know what? I hadn't heard the whole backstory until now. Like I had seen the video, and I know you showed me what the girl looked like, all that kind of stuff. Like I found out about the story. But the backstory, like it makes me kind of applaud it a little bit. Like I'm happy that she went ahead and did that because like she was saying, the Dolphins were one of the teams that took a stand against, their players not kneeling for the anthem. And so I could see, and the funny thing about all of this is, and besides the fact that Colin Kaepernick still ain't got no job, but the funny thing about all of this is the more that they try to suppress this protest, the bigger it's getting and the more people it's starting to affect. Like it affected some random offensive line coach. Dog. Like nobody had heard, people had heard of him, but like you didn't really think about the offensive line coach getting caught up in all of this. And it's all from Colin Kaepernick taking a knee over a year ago, dog.
Yeah. Like I say, people, it's so much hypocrisy. That's what I want to say. In this world, how things are going on. Like you say, people mad about Colin Kaepernick, things of this nature. Like, this is a direct quote from the young lady. She basically said, I have plenty of white friends, so I'm not making this a race issue. People are missing the point. My point is everyone has to be held accountable for their decisions. They roast players over the anthems while the coaches be high as hell and probably can't sing along.
Oh, she called it, boy. That boy high as hell, man. And you know what? I appreciate what she did there. I know like the situation is kind of fucked up with, he has a family and everything, but stuff like that needs to happen. Like all of this stuff it needs to start hitting people that can actually, because people are trying to overlook this protest. People are trying to look past it. Like, oh, y'all talking about the military. They're trying to change the whole attitude, everything. I want people to realize, and I want it to always what's his name did? He just had an interview. Eric Reed.
Okay. The safety for the 49ers.
Yeah, the safety for the 49ers. He just had an interview where he was like, where they kind of discussed the Mike Pence situation. I mean, we're sliding into real news anyway. So we're kind of discussing the Mike Pence situation. So Mike Pence went to the Indianapolis Colts versus the 49ers game this weekend. He says that he went there because he wanted to enjoy the Colts, which, mind you, in a separate issue, the picture that he posted of him at the game when he said, I'm at the game for the Colts, was a picture that he had used 3 years before. He used a picture from 3 years before just to say he was at the Colts game. So the whole thing started out fraud.
Yeah.
So then he gets to the game.
He just used a different filter.
Yeah, that was what got me. Like, he actually changed the filter. Like, I would have been better with him just using the exact same picture, but he used a different filter, so the jersey was darker color blue and everything. I was like, dog, you really took the time to change the filter on the same picture, dog? Like, for real? But anyway, so Mike Pence he went to the game. Mind you, he was in Vegas for some other campaign type stuff. He had some kind of meeting. He flew all the way to Indianapolis, knowing that he was going to walk out of the game, just to tweet that he's at the game, and then to walk out because the 49ers players kneeled, because they have always been since Kaepernick was kneeling last year. And so, like, he left, sent a tweet out, oh, me and the president will not stand for people disrespecting the flag. The president tweeted, yeah, I told Pence to go up there. And then, like, that ruined his whole thing. Anyway.
Which ruined the whole story, because it later came out that, oh, yeah, when he got to the game, the press pool that goes with the vice president and the president, things of that nature, when they traveling, the press pool was told to stay in the van because this is going to be a short little trip. Yeah. And everything, that they didn't have to come inside because the vice president wasn't going to stay.
Yeah, they knew. They knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, everything was a setup. It was a big PR stunt that backfired to people like us that kind of think like, you basically wasted, because it came out, I think, for him detouring and going to the game, and then also for Secret Service and everything else, it cost like taxpayers like $250,000.
Yeah, it was an expensive trip to the game.
So people like us, whatever, we like, yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah. But to their base, it hit the nail on the head for them.
That's exactly what they wanted. Now, his base, like the Trump and Pence base, they're like, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Go show them that you're protesting their protest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Show them that we're going to protest their protest. But the whole thing was, like, Mike Pence showed up, walked out, and then so afterwards they interviewed Eric Reed, and the reason I brought up Eric Reed is because I appreciate the fact that people are bringing this thing back to where it started. And so Eric Reed he mentioned in the interview that he believed that the Mike Pence thing was a publicity stunt, and he reiterated the fact that this is all about injustice. Like, we're talking about a dude just got shot in the back the other day for running away from the police. He didn't have nothing on him. He was just running away. And then he got 5 shots to the back. And I know you've seen this if you've been on Facebook at all, because the dude got shot in the back and he was running away. But side by side to that, people are showing this other video of a non-black kid that attacked the officer, stole his police car and everything, and not a shot was fired.
I'm saying he actually shot the taser. The taser didn't work. He took off running. Yeah,
he hit the kid with the taser, and the kid still chased him down. The kid turned away and ran to the car. This is not have to do with a Mike Pence thing, but it does to an extent. The issue I have, and this is the argument I've had with people, even over the whole thing about shooting unarmed black men for the longest, because this is just crazy to me. Everybody asks you, well, would you feel better if they shot the non-black people too? I hate to be that dude, but to be honest with you, if they shot everybody, I would feel better, because that means they're not singling us out. Because, like, I know that it's not good police work to shoot them, to shoot the black men. So if they're like, well, would you feel better if they would have shot that kid that ran away? I mean, at least it would have been equal. And what we're saying is the stuff's not equal. Like, we know that what it's supposed to do is you're supposed to get somebody down. You know what I'm saying? You got to do whatever you need to do to get them down. If they are threatening you, then of course you have to act. But if a black man acts the exact same way as somebody else and a black man gets shot, I expect the other person to get shot. And that's terrible, but at the same time, I want to say that I just want things to be equal. Really, what I want to happen is what happened to that kid, I want to happen to the black dude. I want him not to get shot. Like, I want everybody to not get shot when they don't have to be.
I just don't understand when it comes to that. I don't get officers, anybody in law enforcement, whatever. You have to put in time at the range, so many different hours. Like, you gotta keep qualifying with your weapon. Why are they shooting to kill?
Because they're scared.
Because it's like if you train at the different ranges and things of that nature, when you shoot for like a leg or something, somebody's running away from you, right? Or you shoot for somebody to hit them in the leg, whatever. Why are you shooting directly in their back, or you shooting chest high?
They shooting like right to center mass. I realize that that's the reason. The reason they do that is because it's the more sure shot, like the one you're gonna connect with.
Yeah, to make sure that you incapacitate
that's where your stopping power gonna come from. You're gonna stop them from hitting them center mass. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like there's so many other ways. Especially once you have, let me put it this way.
But before you go to that goes back to the point, like you said, they're trained like to shoot center mass because that's going to stop somebody, right? If you're trained to shoot center mass and you shoot all these people center mass, you're also trained not to use this kind of type of force.
Right.
So why the hell are you doing that, but you can shoot somebody center mass like it's no problem?
Like, you're using one part of your training and you're just forgetting the other part. Like, and that's my thing is like, okay, so, and we've gotten into the topic of a shooting now. So basically, my thing about shootings is like, okay, if you have this person's information, you have them ready to be arrested. Yeah. Like, you have all the information, you know what they look like, they're not going to go too far.
Yeah.
So if you know who this person is, or at least where they are, and you know what they look like, and you know how to find them, why do you have to shoot them to stop them?
Yeah.
Like, unless you just out of shape and you can't keep up when they start running, like, chances are you're going to keep up with them to tackle them or something like that. And then on top of that, if they get away, you'll find them. Like, you can put them on a wanted list and it'll come out later on. Like, you're going to catch them eventually. It's not like they're just going to get away. Shooting them and killing them is not the most effective way. Like, I know you have to go through your mind and be like, okay, what's the most effective way I can stop this? I'm going to kill them. And that's going to stop them. Like, there's so many other, and like you said, they have training to deal with that so many other ways. I don't understand why killing is the first thing that they think of.
Well, this is kind of like our discussion before, I think last week, by the NRA. Mm-hmm. There's things in place that can happen to stop all of this.
Yeah.
But will it happen? More than likely, no. Because like you said, with more training, things of that nature, with some of these bad shootings, if you actually prosecute some of these officers, it's going to stop. Because now law enforcement has the fear of, if I don't do this by the book or whatever the case may be, I could get locked up for this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's an accountability. And again, it's all with these protests and everything, it's all anybody is asking. Is that the officers, like, we're not protesting the flag, we're not protesting the anthem of all that different nature, or we're against minorities or against cops and all this other BS.
Right. No, none of that.
All the minorities want, black, brown, whatever the case may be, is for the police to be held accountable, just like we will be as citizens in the same situation.
Right. If I shot somebody, I would be prosecuted.
Yes, I need to be held accountable.
Like, I mean, I could defend myself. I can go for self-defense and all of that, but it would have to come out in trial. These cops ain't even going to trial. Like this, if it goes to trial, at least they know, okay, well, I don't want to go to a trial, so I may need to rethink what I'm doing. But they know right now that chances are they probably not even going to go to trial. Nobody's going to think twice about it.
And just think about it like this. This is the Rodney King beating going to the 21st power. They actually beat this man on camera and got off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, you know what? We beat the man. We can get off. Let's see how far we can go. We can actually shoot somebody to death and we can get off.
Like, it's not like it's getting to the point where it's almost on the lynching level, to where like people are seeing it and they know something's wrong and they're like, well, I mean, he looked like he deserved it. Yeah. And so, I mean, like,
why did he run?
And the thing is, and this argument comes up to me for people all the time with any type, with protesting, with the NFL protests, with anything. Everybody wants to go back to the fact that, oh, well, you know, that was back then. The things that they did back then were different. The things they did back then were just like they are now. When people complain about protests, you think people were cool with Martin Luther King and them blocking highways? No, they had the same argument. Oh, what is that going to accomplish? Why are y'all even out there? Why are y'all sitting in on this restaurant? Why does she have to sit at the front of the bus? I don't understand. What is she trying to accomplish? That's not going to accomplish anything. It's just going to make people mad. The exact same thing is happening now. And so the same mentality that people had back then, where people were getting lynched and all these bad things were happening to people, and everybody was like, oh, I mean, it looks like they deserve it. That's what y'all are saying now. Like, people were getting hung and they had full mobs of people. And this ain't from centuries ago. This is from less than 100 years ago. This was, you know, people that went through this stuff are still alive today. And there were mobs of people, and they have these pictures of mobs of people looking at a black man hanging from a tree. Yeah. And the same mentality that you have now, well, I mean, if he hadn't whistled at that white woman, you know what I'm saying, maybe that wouldn't have happened to him. Like, it's the same mentality.
If he wouldn't have ran from law enforcement, he would still be alive today.
Yeah, maybe he should have complied, and maybe he wouldn't be hanging from that tree. Look at that nigga. Like, that's the exact same mentality they have now, and they had it then, but they can't see it in themselves now, and that's crazy as hell to me, man. It's crazy as hell, and I just don't understand it, dog.
Well, that's at the end of the day, that's just people don't want to admit that. I don't want to go to extreme, say the evil inside of everybody, but a lot of people don't want to see. Well, a lot of people don't want to see the devil within inside of them.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You can look, like you said, well, you see a lynching in your mind's eye. You see this, and somebody's hanging from a damn tree, and you're like, that is messed up. You should have some kind of empathy for it. But again, it goes back to, like, a lot of people say there's no empathy in a lot of these situations, because a lot of people, you'll have a nice segment of white people, you know what I'm saying, in general, to see that scene and be like, this is messed up. Nobody needs to go through this. Yeah. But then you also have another segment that'll look at that and be like, oh, that's messed up. But that never happened to me.
Right. It doesn't involve me. So.
Yeah, it doesn't, because I can never see a white person being lynched. So and if I saw a white person lynched, oh my God, that would be the worst thing ever in life, and something needs to be done immediately. Because if you don't think it could happen to you, you really don't care.
Right.
And that's all this is, all this different injustices and everything else. A lot of people feel like this can't happen to them, so they can care less about it. Give me my football, you know what I'm saying, stand for my flag that I kind of piss on anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Really care about the flag.
I can really care less about, because we're really not representing the flag and a lot of stuff that we do nowadays and things of that nature. So it's crazy, man.
Yeah, empathy is lost in today's society. So I don't even expect it from anybody. Which I mean, was going to lead us into our next subject, but I'm gonna have to kind of skip past it. We well over an hour right now. So, but the next thing we're going to talk about, since we're talking about not empathy, was birth control. And so we didn't even get into birth control, but
you cut off.
Basically, some of these people that y'all put in power are thinking, hey, women can handle their own thing. They don't need birth control.
Oh, yeah.
Which goes back to our point before about empathy. So I'm not going to touch on it much, but basically the people that are in power, these white men that are in power are thinking, oh, well, I mean, birth control doesn't affect me, so, I mean, I don't really see why y'all need it.
And if you're not up to date on what we're talking about, earlier at the end of the week, President Trump made an announcement. It's not put into law yet, but wants to roll back one of the Obama mandates of birth control being submitted out to the women, through their employers and their doctors and things of that nature. Pretty much with the rollback of this issue, employers and anybody else that distributes birth control have the option to not give it out based on their religious beliefs or religious or the company policies, whatever they can put it out there.
Moral standards,
moral codes,
whatever they think.
That the doctors don't have to give you your birth control. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much telling you as a woman what to do with your body.
Exactly. And saying what they won't fund, because basically all it's about is funding. They won't believe in giving funds to women for their bodily functions, basically, which is stupid. But like we said before, this relates back to the simple fact that these people don't have empathy. They don't care. They don't care about things that don't affect them. That's why, one of the arguments was made that Viagra is covered by a lot of things, but they want birth control to not be covered because Viagra affects them.
Yes.
That is something that they use regularly. So, if it's something that affects them, they care. But if it's something that doesn't affect them, as with the NFL kneeling, as with birth control, as with anything that goes on in the world, if it doesn't affect these people, they could care less.
Oh yeah, like you said, they go at anybody for anything. That's just like when they had the issue a months ago about the transgenders in the military type thing, and they was talking about we cutting them out the military because them having to deal with like counseling sessions or surgeries and things of that nature, it's costing us too much, costing the country too much money. Which when they did the math, it costed maybe like on a yearly basis, maybe a couple of $100,000, less than probably like $200,000 for a year.
Right.
But they were spending like $3 million on Viagra and Cialis.
Yeah,
in the military.
The older military members use Viagra and Cialis, but they're like, they aren't transgender and they don't know too many transgenders, so they're like, well, who cares what happens to them? We finna cut them off. Yeah. So whatever doesn't affect them directly, they're not gonna give a damn.
Which also, like you saying with the birth control argument is, I'm pretty sure a lot of them feel like, oh well, we'll cut your birth control off because you don't need to. We don't believe in altering pregnancy and things of that nature. So we're going to cut you off and basically go back to the old fashioned things, not knowing that a lot of women take birth control for other issues to regulate certain cycles and different hormones in their body.
Yeah.
So it's just much more than pregnancy prevention.
Yeah.
So like I say, but again, that's an older white man telling any woman of color, white included.
Yeah, any woman, period.
To do with her body.
Yeah. And what's funny, and this is the last thing and I'm off of this.
Yeah.
The funny thing is I just saw recently, like I think it was today, one of the Republican leaders that was against, like he was fronting the whole anti-abortion thing and he was big on, getting rid of abortion everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Just he was trying to get his mistress an abortion.
Yeah.
So like that was real funny to me. That like I said, when it affects them, it's a big deal. Like I got to get this woman an abortion. Oh well, I'm glad I have an abortion clinic. But any other time, I want all the abortion clinics gone.
Well, that's the bad part about it, which is kind of like the election that happened. So many people voted against their own interests.
Yeah.
Because they felt a certain way. A lot of people in power. I'm saying, and it's on both sides.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it comes out on the Republican side. A lot of them vote for their own interests because their base wants something. They will go hard against abortion, but then secretly be getting abortions for their mistresses and things of that nature. There will be against gay rights, but be gay themselves.
Yeah, they messing with men on the side, but they like, oh yeah, no, you need a gay rights bill. That's
we need a gay rights bill and things of that nature.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So they go against their own interest for the money and the power and things of that nature. So it's just when you kind of just break everything out in context, you just kind of look at like people will do anything to be in a certain status. You know what I'm saying? Like they will go against whatever helps them in their daily lives, whatever the case may be, just to have a position.
Yeah, to keep their position and keep their money coming in. Yeah. Like you said, everything comes down to money at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
But let me just wind this up a little bit because we over an hour, almost an hour, 15 minutes in. So we're gonna end it with our woosah moment. So our woosah moment for today is basically like we have this thing in counseling called cognitive behavioral therapy. It's CBT for short. And what you need to know about cognitive behavioral therapy is what a cognition is. So cognitions are thoughts. So if you ever hear anybody say, cognitions or the word cognizant, it means what you're thinking. So like anytime we kind of working with somebody that has been having a lot of negative thoughts, we sometimes work on you with cognitive behavioral therapy. And it's a way of changing your thoughts so that your behaviors can act on it. And what brought this to my mind was I was on Twitter, like always. I was on Twitter and actually SZA had tweeted. If y'all don't know who SZA is a singer. She has that song The Weeknd. Yeah, but I like SZA. SZA's good.
Yeah, everybody's on SZA right now.
Yeah.
She's pretty dope.
SZA's dope. But she had tweeted out something, and she was basically it said that sometimes she has to tell herself when negative thoughts come to mind that she has to remind herself of who she is because of those negative thoughts, and that's basically what cognitive behavioral therapy is centered around. It's centered around the fact that you have to kind of change the way you think. You have to take control of the way you think because it affects the way you act. So a lot of times people will think that they do something and they don't understand why they do it. So what we do is we try to hone in on what your cognitions are, what your thoughts are, so that we can understand what thought process made you get to that point. It works really well with like kids because kids are, there's a lot of bad kids out there. And and when as a therapist, we get a lot of kids because kids are bad. And so people bring their kids in because they're like, oh, behavior problems is probably like top 5 things I get kids brought in for. So but a lot of times kids don't understand the reason that they do things. And so you have to kind of take kids through, okay, what were you thinking when you did this? Why were you thinking that way? Et cetera, et cetera. So, and it works well for adults as well. And that's why I wanted to bring it up as our woosah moment. Basically, what I need everybody to do is just really try to think about the things that you do. Even if it's just arguing with your, significant other, fighting with your homeboys, whatever it is, a lot of the things that you do fall back on this idea that you're not controlling your thoughts and you're not thinking about the thoughts that you think that are making you act the way that you do. People look at it all different ways. People look at it as, a spirit of whatever, and it makes you act a certain way. But at the end of the day, no matter what your belief system is, you have to develop a way to control those thoughts in order to control your behaviors. So our woosah moment for today is just take some time, think about the things that are going wrong or bad behaviors, what we call maladaptive behaviors, bad behaviors that cause you to do some things that aren't constructive for yourself, anything that makes you doubt yourself or destruct anything that you have going. Think about those things and think about the thoughts that led up to that point. If you take time and think about the thoughts that lead you up to that point, then it'll help you to counteract all those what we call maladaptive or bad behaviors. All right. So that's basically my whole thing as far as the woosah moment for today.
Yeah, pretty much think positivity into your life.
There you go.
And don't worry about all the negative stuff because at the end of the day, you can't control all the negative things that's going to happen.
Exactly.
So pretty much just like a lot of people do, make your vision board. See what somebody, like I say, I had that conversation this week about making a vision board for myself. A lot of things I want to accomplish within the next couple of years. So yeah, make you a vision board. You know what I'm saying? Think positive thoughts. Actually get out there and make, like they always say, make your dreams come true. You got to go ahead and, make your own successes in life.
Right. Thoughts turn into actions. And that's basically what cognitive behavior means. Thoughts turn into actions. So like Wash said, think positive, man.
Yes.
Think positive. Get yourself out there so you can make something productive. Don't just dream about it. Actually go out there and do it, man. But we're gonna wind it down for today, man. It was a good little conversation. Make sure that reach out to us, especially if you have questions about things as far as therapy. I had a couple people reach out to me already, I really appreciate people reaching out to me. I will get you in touch with whoever you need to get therapy things done. But just make sure that you reach out to us. If you have questions about cognitive behavioral therapy, I can give you resources. I can talk to you about it. I can even, I'm not going to do therapy, but I can talk to you.
Ain't nothing free over here.
But I'll talk for free for a little while at least.
He'll give you a little consultation.
Yeah, I'll give that exactly. I'll give you a consultation. I'll let you, and I'll point you in the direction of somebody that can help you if I can't set you up for myself. But it's very important that everybody takes into account all the things that we even just the stuff we discuss. Especially the woosah moment that we just had about, positive thinking, keep everything positive, keep working towards positivity.
Yeah, because you're always thinking the sky's falling. The sky gonna fall one day.
Eventually.
Eventually. So and basically all you're doing is just waiting for it to happen. And so much positive things that you could be doing is passing you by.
Exactly, man. So we're going to end it on that note. Make sure you reach out to us. Like I said, the email is whatstheremedipodcast@gmail.com. Spelled exactly like it sounds. If you don't know how to spell any of those words, there is a dictionary on the internet.
Sound it out.
Sound it out and spell it out on there. Hit us on Twitter @whatstheremedy. Just What's the Remedy, no podcast on the end. So @whatstheremedy on Twitter. What's the YouTube, Wash?
YouTube is What's the Remedy? Just type it into your search bar and then it should pop up.
Yeah, YouTube type in What's the Remedy or WTR podcast, and then look at us on iTunes. If you're listening to us on iTunes, make sure you rate us. Leave a quick review, even if it's just say, man, good show. Like it could be 3 words. Yeah. But just leave us a review and a rating, so we know. And if you got more to say to us, if you don't want to put it on the reviews, shoot us an email. We are taking constructive criticism. We're taking topics to talk about, whatever you got for us. If you have especially like I said before, if you have a question about therapy at all or anything like that, shoot it to me and I'll make sure I respond very quickly.
Yeah, pretty much at the end of the day, if you like what we're talking about on here, you enjoy listening to us, hey, we really appreciate that. If you think we don't know shit, we full of shit, hey, I appreciate you listening too.
Yeah. Let us know that too.
Yeah, let us know that too, because at the end of the day, you're still listening, so I appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate all feedback, even if it's negative. We know we got room to work, and we want to keep working, and we want to work together to make this better. Because like I said, at the end of the day, this podcast is supposed to be about making, especially men, better. Yeah. But we want to reach out. We want women to reach out to us, because I know I've even had questions from women about how to deal with some of these things. Yeah. So women are out there dealing with these men, dealing with men like us. We want to be able to help you too. So hit us up, email, iTunes, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere you can find your podcast. Just hit us up, man. We'll holler at you.
Later.
Mama said you better be home. When them street lights on. Hey, when the street lights on. Hey, when the street lights on. Yeah. They ain't doing nothing but wrong. When them street lights on. And when the street lights on. Cause when the street lights on.